Hey everybody, it's Rachel. Thanks for tuning in to this video. In this video, we are working with one craft project and we are giving it a complete makeover. So I've had this hanging above my entryway table, and I've done this a couple years ago, and I still sell these frames. This is a frame from, or blank from, Hobby Lobby, and I don't even have the SVG anymore of this because it's probably one of the first larger projects I've ever done. This is before, I know for a fact this was before the smart materials came out, because I'll tell you why. You'll see at the corners here, excuse me, that actually this design, this SVG, had a square border, and I did not have a long enough vinyl to cut more than 24 inches, obviously actually less than 24 inches. Now they do. Anyways, so this is a complete makeover. I actually already kind of took up a corner of it because this has been sitting on this blank for some time now, and I am going to redo it. I just no longer like this anymore, and it's just not, you know, the direction that I want to go. So I wanted to show you guys. This is the only project that we are working on today, and you want to kind of be careful with going against the grain here. But I want to show you guys kind of like what I do when I go ahead and redo something. I tend to just carefully peel it up. Now, luckily for this kind of blank here, if you will, it already kind of looks a little rustic. So even if it does peel up the paint just a little bit, it's fine. I'm not too concerned unless it looks really bad. Then I'm going to have to end up repainting it and taking it from there. So this whole point of this video is, for one, to show you how I redo something from all the way from start to finish. And then for two, just the larger than matte, I like to call these larger than matte projects because they are so big. And this one is a complete redo, makeover. It's not as, I don't know, it's different from what this is, and it's really pretty. I mean, don't get me wrong, I really like it. The only thing that I'm not liking much anymore is this truck. It's just, I don't know, it's just not my, I'm not liking it. I never really did like that, what I did with that peeled right in half. I really never liked that truck from the very beginning. Was never happy with it. But I actually, I remember when I did redo this truck, or when I did do this, I did redo this part because I never liked the truck from the very beginning. So then I redid it with some the pattern vinyl, and I just never really liked it. So what I'll do for you guys right now is put you guys on fast forward, so that way you're not going to listen to me yammer on about what I like and didn't like about this. But that's basically it. Like, everything else I really liked. I liked the font, and I liked just that. It's just, you know, again, I really wanted to redo the sign above my entryway table, but I was not willing to part ways with this frame, especially with how expensive they are. I bet I can even tell you when I bought it. Let's see here. Oh, normally they put the year on there. Maybe they only do that with their seasonal crafts, but I'm actually kind of curious to go back there to see how much these frames are, because I paid, well, it's $29 full price. So I'm kind of curious to see, you know, what they are now with inflation and everything. So, yeah, I actually just bought one not too long ago. I did one, I don't know, a little bit, gosh, maybe it's been a year. Has it been a year? No, it has not been a year. I had done another one, and we're going to do something very similar to that one. So, not that you guys would know because I did it before I started my channel. So, okay, let me go ahead and put you guys on fast forward, and then we will come together and see the new design. So that didn't take too long of a time. So right now I'm going to go ahead and turn on my mini press to the medium setting while I weed out this. Now this is going to be iron-on. So unfortunately, or fortunately, you know, depending on how you want to look at it, this is not going to be, I'm not going to be able to reuse this. So I better like this, right? And just because, all right, so our entryway faces, so our house faces the west, okay? And we have like a clear story window above our front door. And the sun, it just brings a lot of sun in. And I thought it would be awesome so that it really does bring in a lot of sparkle or shimmer to my my signs or my wood rounds at my front door. Like you can see how glittery it is from the street. And so I thought, oh, I wonder if the sun will hit it and shimmer inside the house. So that is why I'm opting to do iron-on. Plus when we work with large, well, when I work with large, that was my heat press, with large designs, I like to try to go with removable, or glitter, or I like to try to go with iron-on just because it's a little bit easier for placement purposes. Okay, so now here's the story. When I was cutting this, I had my, I was using my, my Explorer Air 3. Sorry, I'm trying to think about what machine I was using. And for whatever reason, and it was plugged in, so it was plugged in via USB, it lost connection. So part of my design here stopped and did not finish cutting. So I was really, really upset because I hate wasting vinyl or HTV or whatever. And also, this was my last roll of glitter iron-on that would fit the size of a design. Like I have others, but you know, they're all kind of like scrap pieces. And I didn't want to have to recut it. So luckily, it was only a few things where, like for example, you'll see like this E didn't cut out the middle, and then I have I think this says welcome, and it did not finish the come part, C-O-M-E. So, and a few others. So what I did was I went back into design space and cut the missing pieces out, and then I'm gonna have to piece them all together, which it's not my favorite because this could be honestly, this could be an easy project, right? But my Cricut always likes to throw me through some loops and challenges. So here we are. Okay. Let's go ahead and get rid of all this. We don't want this to accidentally iron on to our wood here. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those pieces. Okay, now that we've done that, so okay, now I remember. Okay. I was trying to think, like, what did I write? Okay, so it just says, oh, I love the saying. Okay. So it just says home. That's going to go about here. And then this says, oh, looks like oh, it's that E. Oh my gosh, it threw me again. Okay, so home, where love resides, memories are created. So I'm going to have to replace the E and the D. Friends are always welcome and laughter never ends. So that is what it says. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to, I think you guys can't really see the top, and I apologize. We're going to get this placed, and then I think what we'll do is then get this placed next. Although I'm going to have to make sure that I try to center this as best as I can. So this is going to be a little bit of a challenge, right? Okay. So okay, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to focus on this top portion. So I found where I want to center it. The one thing I kind of just realized is the little tail on the right is a little bit longer than the left, so therefore the word home is not going to be centered. And I don't think I realized that when I found it. So I don't know if that's going to bother me, knowing that the word home is not centered. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to kick it up a little bit. I don't think this is going to adhere really well. So I'm going to just move this around. Okay, so it's already wanting to lift, so I'm just lifting to see where the troubled areas are. And what I mean by it's already wanting to lift is the carrier sheet or the backer is wanting to lift. So it's telling me that it's already adhered onto the blank here. So I have another area. Okay. So let me go ahead and do a focus press, which is why I love the mini. Perfect. Let's go ahead and move on to the next portion, which is the puzzle piece, right? The longest word here is the C-O-M-E part. So I'm just gonna kind of get that situated. So I'm just trying to, again, let me go ahead and just cut out the word. So I'm just trying to figure out where that, I did that just so I can see, and I need to cut this. Oh, well, there goes that. See, this would have been a lot easier design had it, or this would be an easy project, done in a heartbeat, if this Cricut did not, I swear, every time they do an update, there's always a glitch with their updates, and then they gotta fix those bugs, and I'm just like, come on, guys, can't we just get it right the first time? Okay. And I think we need to go up just a little bit. I think that I got that pretty straight. So I'm going to do a focus press on some areas to help me hold it down from moving. And then I will hit everything else. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to lift this. Okay, so I see, just to see if there's any troubled areas. This next portion. So I'm going to do, now I definitely need my parchment paper because I don't want to accidentally, what I'm going to do is I'm just bringing in my ruler here because I don't want it, I want this to be straight. So that is the only way I'm going to be able to get this. Okay, so I just cut that really close to the to the edge here because I want this to be as straight as possible. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, so I'm just gonna put my parchment paper down because I do have some of my letters exposed, so I don't want to accidentally ruin it. Let that cool down, and then we will go ahead and work on this next one. Let that cool down. Perfect. This went downhill just a little bit, but I think, let me take a look here. Okay. Then, okay, so somehow my E and the D got separated. So we'll do that one last. That's probably gonna be, apologize if I'm cutting off camera here. All right. So mistakes just happen, and not that I made any mistakes, it was really my Cricut that made the mistake. You know, you just kind of got to go with it and do what you can to try to save the vinyl, so that way you're not wasting any vinyl, right? Okay, so I'm gonna let that cool down, and then here comes the D, and I'm just gonna cut this again. I apologize if I'm off camera. But in real life, I'd like for this to turn out, I guess, stare at it every day. I don't stare at it, but I see it every day, right? Okay, so perfect. Okay, and then this, where's my ruler? Got that one down. Peel that up. And then my last, but not least, my letter D. It took me a second to see if that was straight or not, but I think it was. If not, it is what it is, right? Oh, and I burnt it a little bit. Oh. That's all right. I think I put too much heat on that, but I burnt it a little bit. But I think you won't see it once it gets hung up. But yeah, so it turned out here is the new frame that we just did. So it turned something that I had previously done and then change it into something else, saved myself the money buying a new frame, and I think I really loved how it turned out despite its hardships. And then I kind of overburnt it right there, but again, I don't think you're gonna really notice it once it gets hung up because I don't have the best lighting. I mean, we have, it's like a 20-foot ceiling, I think it is. Yeah, 20-foot ceiling that's in our entryway. And so there's not like a direct light on there. So I think that once it gets hung up, it won't be that noticeable. Anyways, all right. So that's all I have for you. I just wanted to show you guys how you could do something super large, because what I did is I had to cut it in sections. So if it would have cut out correctly, I would have cut out just this portion and then that portion as well. And so I actually had to do some reverse engineering here because I had to like mirror it and get it all, I don't know. Well, you have to mirror this anyway, so this is iron on. But anyways, so that was just my heat press that I just turned off before I forgot. Anyways, so yeah, I just wanted to show you guys what you can do to redo your own decor, so that way you don't go out and buy a bunch of blanks. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.